Hey, George with Pitbull here today to give you a brief explanation of how to assemble your Pitbull hybrid front stand. As of late 2019, we're no longer doing the complete assembly of these when we ship them out. This makes it easier for our dealers inventorying the product, and also it makes it a little more favorable for the shipping container. So if you were to get a, let's say a hybrid dual lift, which has the upper piece and the lower piece for lifting from the forks or from the steering stem, it would come to you, packaged like this. The upper may be separate if it comes from a dealer. We're going to go ahead and tape them to the other bubble wrapped piece here at the factory. Your dealer may or may not do that. If you're getting one of the stands that's either a dual lift or a hybrid forklift, the swivels will be in a little cardboard box that is going to be attached to the lower chassis. But when you get that unwrapped, you're going to be left with this setup right here. The swivels, you'll take them out of the box. They'll have the washer and hardware. When you pull them out of the box, you'll just take that hardware off, get the washer out of there. And when you go to install the swivel on your lower chassis, you can install it into that housing, put the washer on, and you may decide to put a little bit of a multi-purpose grease in there. You don't have to, but your call. And then put this pin in place. When you install this swivel, you're definitely going to want to make sure that this higher of the two pegs is facing towards the motorcycle. If you're standing here at the front of the bike, looking at the front of your bike, you want the high peg to be away from you, not towards you. If you put it on the reversed way, then it could be a problem for you as far as the bike won't want to line up correctly. So make sure, and there's actually a little arrow on the swivel. Make sure that arrow is pointed towards the front of the bike. So you get that in place and put the washer on, and then this little clip. Now if you were to get a hybrid dual lift, you would have this setup plus this upper. And if you get a hybrid head lift, you just wouldn't have the swivels on there at all. But let's say you have a head lift or a dual lift and you want to attach the upper, you remove the little bolt and nut that come with it. They'll be attached down here in these inverted U-shaped pieces. Then you just slide that onto the lower chassis, put the bolt through there, and then put the nut in place. I'm just going to finger tight it for this example. Personally, I only finger tight these. You can tighten it more if you want to. I prefer it finger tight, so if I decide to take it off, it's real easy to come off. So you have this upper piece here. By the way, this is going to move freely. It's not going to lock at any position. Sometimes you get calls from people thinking, this is going to lock in a certain position. It's going to be the weight of the motorcycle that makes it lock, not anything as part of the assembly. So anyway, this is how it would look if you had a dual lift, or of course if you got a head lift, you just wouldn't have this fork swivel piece on there at all, and it would look more like that. Either way, head lift, dual lift, when you go to install the pin, most of our pins are pretty self-explanatory, and even if they aren't, they have instructions that come with them if they're an angled pin or if there's anything in particular you need to know about. This particular pin is the 28S pin. You'll notice it has a little bit of a chamfer on it, and that pin will actually have to be installed correctly for it to work. When you install it correctly, this chamfer is going to be basically parallel with the underside of the fairing, or parallel with the ground even. That's just to make it easier to slide it between the fairing and the fender. This pin also has a tiny little degree difference between the upper half of the pin and the lower half of the pin, and that angle is very important when you're going to try to line the stand up with a bike. We've had a lot of people, maybe they have a 959 Panigale or something, and they think that this pin does not work. It does work. You just have to install it correctly, and then you have to make sure that the pin goes in all the way up to the shoulder. Now, not all of our pins have a shoulder, but the pins that do have a shoulder, the bike is supposed to rest on that shoulder. If it doesn't have a shoulder, that's not a thing. But if it does have a shoulder and your pin's not going in all the way, that's not by design. It should go in all the way. If it's not going in all the way, give us a call, let us know, we'll walk you through it. But anyway, that's how you would do the final assembly of a pit bull front stand. We showed you how to install the fork swivels. Again, if you choose to use a little bit of grease on the swivel, you can. It's not necessarily necessary, but you can do it. It won't hurt anything. The upper, we showed you, you just take these little bolt and nut off when you take the upper out of its bubble wrap. Attach it like this, you're good to go. Keep in mind this front stand is height adjustable, so you can adjust the height higher or lower depending on your needs. We'll send it from the factory at the lowest possible setting. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to give us a call, drop us an email. We'll be glad to help. Thank you for watching and have a great day.